really can't think off my head, but I would say the level of activity is going to be quite high this year, a bit like last year, and I think this year even more so because of the kind of, I would say, a couple of factors. One, obviously, is the stress that is in the system in terms of leverage. I think that's driving a lot of well-meaning promoters to get rid of businesses, sell them, repay the banks. That's going to drive some M&A. I think you're seeing clearly people recognizing that you've got to be part of a larger business, not small businesses. India has been traditionally very fragmented, so we're seeing a lot more consolidation, whether it's in healthcare, whether it's in logistics, whether it's in retail. So I think you'll see a lot more of that. And again, I'm at least a firm believer that bigger businesses, bigger size make more sense than having just so many. I think you'll see it in financial services as well. So I would say that scale is driving M&A, which is the right thing. I think stress is going to be a big driver, and then you'll see a few examples of situations which are particular to a family or a succession plan might drive. But I'm less about that. So I think it's going to be quite a busy year on the M&A front for sure. And not to mention the strategics are interested in India, so they will obviously want to come and make a few transactions there.
So just taking that thought forward, in terms of stressed assets, what is your company's plan, or what do you think is going to be the strategic overruling strategy for companies across the board to deal with stressed assets this year, sir?
I know that's a business that we've tried to stay on focus for the last many years. We really haven't done much, frankly. And the reason is that we've never managed to find assets at a fair clearing price from the banks. I think the new NCLT process is now stabilizing. I think the banks have got adequate, I would say, stick and carrot with all the regulatory changes. Stick if they don't act quickly on stress assets, and I think a carrot if they act quickly. I think there's a lot of long-term capital available from firms like us and many others who can give cash to the banks, put money into the businesses, work on resolution, and hopefully create more value. But for that, you need the banks to be able to transact with long-term capital providers at a fair value. And I think the fair value is always the big debate. It's been already 4 or 5 years we have debated this. We really haven't got anything at fair value till now. But hopefully we'll see some. We see the banks are a lot more motivated now. And I don't mean that we want to take undue advantage of that. I think foreign investors are not saying, oh, I should get something really dirt cheap. Right. We're not there to strip the assets. At least our philosophy is to turn them around and to create value again. So it takes a lot of hard work. It takes a lot of long-term money. So you've got to get these assets at a fair price.
Absolutely, sir. So in terms of private equity, do you see 2018 and the fiscal year that is upcoming, do you see private equity coming into the country or leaving the country, sir?
No, I think private equity will net has to be a positive, no question about it. Last year, without VC alone, I think PE alone was about 18-20 billion. I'm sure venture capital was huge. I think it has to be a positive. Like I said earlier today, India will need, if India has to grow, and I think it is growing, and entrepreneurs need capital, companies need money, you don't have that much of local savings pool. You will need imported savings. Now, FIIs, of course, is much more volatile kind of capital flows. Private equity, venture capital is a lot more strategic, much more long-term. So I think there is going to be no end of opportunities, and I think net, it will be a positive. And look, from a macro perspective, India is a great place to put money to work. The real question is, can you find businesses at the right price, and can you scale up adequately? This is the whole challenge here. It's not really about a macro issue. Macro is the biggest positive today.
So will KKR in consortium or individually be participating in any of the live IBC bidding processes, sir?
I'm not going to comment on that, yeah.
Right. So one more question. This is the final question. In terms of the PNB affair that is happening right now, do you think that this will actually tarnish the reputation of India in terms of getting investment from foreign players abroad?
It's too early to say that. I have no comment, seriously. It's too early.